Hello, Leo. I thought I'd do this little update for you to see what's going on in your situation and see where we should start. Leo, I pulled a few cards for you, and the first card I pulled for you was the Ten of Swords. So, Leo, this is talking about what's happened in your recent past. This is talking about, with the Ten of Swords, how you're feeling defeated over something. It's also telling me that you're feeling as if all hope kind of was gone. You're feeling as if there's no more opportunity, there's not a chance. It feels like the defeat that you're under right now has totally maybe created you to be negative. It's also created you to feel insecure. It's also saying to me that, you gave up in a situation. Or maybe, okay, Leo, if you didn't give up, then your partner did. But you're definitely feeling as if you were kind of struck by surprise. But, Leo, it's telling me with this card that you really weren't struck by surprise. There was a few warning signs that these swords were coming in your back one at a time. Because, in fact, all 10 swords, okay, all 10 swords did not come in at the same time. It wasn't like 10 swords were up in the sky and all fell down and penetrated and pierced your back all at the same time. One sword at a time was coming, okay? And as that sword was coming is when little red flags were showing up in your situation. It's also telling me that, there was a lot of times where you turned your back, okay? That's why the back is the one that is stabbed. It's not stabbed in the chest or the heart. It's showing the back because when things were going on, when things were happening, when there was little idiosyncrasies, little arguments, little discussions, little lies, little white lies, different things that were going on, Leo, is when you turned your back to ignore them. You didn't want to deal with them. You didn't want to face it. You didn't want to believe something was happening. I'll give you the credit that for a lot of it, you were trying to stay positive. You were trying not to let your insecurities or your worries of your mind to get you to feel negative about the relationship. But at the same time, when more and more swords kept coming, Leo, that's when, by the second and third sword, you should have turned around and redirected those red flags, even questioned some of those things. And for some of you, yes, I hear you saying that, well, I did question them, and they told me this and that and the other thing. But once you were told something and you knew it didn't make sense, when you were being betrayed, when you were being lied to, manipulated, a lot of you Leos were dealing with a narcissist here. Somebody who's used to taking the finger that you're pointing at them, and they're used to turning it around and pointing it at you. So they want to say what they did wasn't really wrong because you were the one, in fact, that caused them to do such and such. Or because of your questioning them, or because of your not trusting them, or because you didn't believe them, that they felt that they had the right or the power to do as they pleased. So as time went on, Leo, you got the rest of the swords. At this point in time, when the rest of the swords came, okay, at some point, and I have the Temperance card, at some point, somebody was putting a little bit into one cup and then pouring it into another cup, and they were kind of going back and forth. And it was like they were sharing, like, I'll give this one a little bit, I'll give this one a little bit. And yes, could you have been dealing with a Sagittarius? It's possible. Could you have been dealing with another air sign? Could be. Could you have been dealing with another fire sign? Could be. But here's the thing. Leo, after this experience happened, when you had the swords in your back, you were finally able to stand up, and that's where the Nine of Wands come in, because you're finally able to stand up and start to defend what's behind you. In other words, your property, your family, your children, whoever, yourself especially. You began to put a defensive wall up, because now that you got hurt so bad, now that you were betrayed, now that you were lied to, now that this relationship ended, now you're standing on guard, and you're looking, and you're looking, and you're making sure that the enemy's not coming in. But at the same time, some of you are looking and looking because you're waiting for someone to return. Although I do feel for a lot of Leos that someone either has already come back or will come back, I still feel that you're going to have your guard up. I still feel with this Nine of Wands is showing that you're holding on very tight to one of these wands, you see? It's just one of these wands. Now, you might have had many other people in your past relating to all these wands that are in the back. So you may have had other people who you've allowed to leave, allowed to diminish the relationship, allowed to let go, allowed to move on from them, and you had no problem. But with this particular one, with this one person that you're involved with here, Leo, you held on really tight with this. You didn't want to let it go. You felt that it belonged to you. You felt that you were a perfect combination. You thought that things were going to be the way that they should be. But you had the Death card come in. The Death was the ending of some relationship, right? Okay, so while this relationship was ending or had ended, there was communication either between you and their family members or their friends, or between you and your friends or your family members. There was also a discussion about all the different arguments and fights that you all had. Okay, now the fighting finally ended. The arguments finally stopped. The communication got to zero. Okay, there was no communication whatsoever. There was no texting. There was no emailing. There was no phone calls. But for some Leos, there was definitely your partner or you, whoever did this, was riding by, taking a look, watching, seeing what was going on. For some of you, oh, you were looking really hard, trying to see what was happening, trying to see if they were with anybody, trying to see if there was any vehicles out front, trying to see, excuse me, if they went to work, or they were trying to see you. For some of you, I do get the Star card. With the Star card, that's telling me there is going to be some positive energy pushing back through. The planets are telling me, or saying, or the universe is saying that something's not finished. Something still needs to be addressed. Something either needs proper closure, or it needs answers in order to get past something, to be able to get another start, to be able to get back on track. Okay? So that's what that's telling me. For some of you, be careful, because your Page of Cups is going to come in. And when your Page of Cups comes in, okay, you're going to look very carefully at that cup that has the fish sticking up out of it. You're going to look at it really carefully and make sure that that fish is alive, that that fish is looking back at you the way it should. Okay, because if you look really closely, don't mind my notes written on the card. Okay, but you see, that fish is looking really closely, okay? And what I get from this fish is that, there's a certain way to do things, to see things, okay? You also could be dealing with a Pisces. Yes, that's what the fish could stand for. Or, a water sign, okay? Which is what? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So you could be dealing with one of those signs here, Leo. But what I get from this is that it's showing me that although you or your partner is standing on solid ground right now, everything is okay, everything is going as is planned, where your work, your career, your finances, your home, your family, all that's pretty stable. But where it comes to this relationship, the water's been a little bit rocky, okay? Definitely been a little bit rocky, but, or wavy. Let me use the word wavy, sorry. Okay, so the water's been a little bit wavy, but you're able to ride those waves, and you're doing very well, okay? These waves are not going to knock you over. They're not going to drown you, things of that nature. I do feel like you are going to spend the time, like the Three of Wands. You or your partner are going to spend the time looking at something, looking at the situation, looking at the relationship that you had, and making the decision on what is out there for you. Okay, what does this relationship have to offer you? What is it going to do? How is it going to benefit you? You're going to start making a decision, okay? Because some of you were dealing with the Devil card, okay? Some of you were dealing with the devil himself. Some of you were dealing with addiction. Some of your relationships had addictions in them. Some of your partners had an addiction, okay? But now's the time where somebody's going to face, they're going to face their problem. They're going to realize that they, in fact, have an issue that they need to deal with, need to address, okay? Whether that's somebody who couldn't stop cheating, whether that's somebody who couldn't stop lying, whether that's somebody who couldn't stop gambling, whether that's somebody who couldn't stop drinking or drugging, okay? But whatever the situation was, whatever the addiction was that created a problem in this relationship is definitely being looked at very closely, okay? That's why I said that you have the Star card. I said that that is, you know, going to help to be very promising. It's going to help to enlighten you to know that better things are coming. All right, someone is going to definitely, with their addiction, and I think it's of multiple partners, okay, because when I see somebody staring at their options with the Seven of Pentacles, they're staring at all the options that are available. However, they're trying to make a decision. They know that they would be better off with only one partner. You know, Leo, that you'd be better off with only one partner. It makes things too complicated when there's another person put into this mix, okay? So this, your partner or yourself, whoever this is pertaining to, whoever had the addiction issue, whoever had the need to have so many other choices, okay? They're now going to be trying to focus on one person, focus on one relationship, and I do feel that things are going to start balancing out. So, with that being said, Leo, the cards that I pulled for you, yes, it showed there was arguments. Yes, it showed that there was a separation. Yes, it shows that, you know, you're wanting someone to come back, but it's also saying that you're putting up your boundaries and saying, you know what, if it's going to come back to me the right way, I'll take it. If it's going to come back and I'm going to have to go through the same bullshit again, I don't think I can do it. I don't have the strength. As much as I care about this person or love this person, I just don't feel like I could do it. So that's where we're at right now here, Leo. You're going to wait to see if your partner is willing to turn this situation this way, reverse it, so that that doesn't interfere anymore, so that they can be faithful and loyal to you, so that you can get back on the same page and be, you know, as happy as you were in the beginning when you had fun going out and doing things together. So Leo, don't give up, okay? Stay strong. Keep your passion alive. Don't give up on yourself first. Love yourself first. Love yourself more than you love anybody else, because until you can love you the way you need to be loved, you can't give it to nobody else. And you can't receive anybody else's love until you love and respect yourself. So Leo, you guys did a lot of work. You've been very strong. You've been very patient. So please know that that is all paying off, and you are going to see the blessings come. That's why we had the Star card.